That's it. Okay, that's a first star right there.
Yes, sir. Okay. We appreciate that.
Peace to you.
All right, so uh I think we have let's go to might be John chapter 19 or Matthew 28, one of them. Let's see. Let's look at John chapter 19. I think the closer you're gonna get to this is let's see here. Let's look at John chapter 20. Is up? Okay, so let me just make sure I understand that, Brother Blue. Mainly, the question is based on Jesus getting up from the grave, right? Can we tell by can we find out how dark it was? In other words, right? All right, yeah. So and because matter of fact, what made you ask that question? That particular question, like, because did somebody say, well, it was Sunday? Okay, well, let's just go look at something. Let's go to Matthew chapter 28. Matthew chapter 28. Let's go see, like, when did the Lord get up from the grave? Matthew chapter 28. Give me 1 second here. Verse 1. I'm gonna pull his mic up some right quick. All right, Brother Cam. I'm gonna turn Nate. Well, I do. I'm gonna turn the gain on right quick. The gain. There's a gain button that pulls the mics in. Well, we don't have to be all up on it. I say somebody can.
In the end of the Sabbath.
You gotta speak louder than that, brother.
In the end of the Sabbath.
Y'all hear him in that speak like that?
No. I'm trying to yell up in here.
All right, go ahead, bro.
In the end. Test. Mic check. 1, 1, 2.
All right, go ahead.
Peace. Test.
It's too loud? That hits him. Right up? Yeah. All right, go ahead.
In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week.
John chapter 20? Did I say Matthew 28?
You said Matthew 28, verse 1?
Okay, I'm tripping. John 20, verse 1. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm tripping. I don't know what's going on.
It's all good.
Hold your finger at Matthew 28, though. We're going to come right back. Yeah, just keep your finger there. That's all. We're going to look at a few different places here.
The first day of the week.
Everybody there? Right, John chapter 20, verse 1. We're just looking at Jesus getting up from the grave.
The only person to ever do it.
Yeah, no. Well, no, yeah, other people get up from the grave, but he the only one that got up and stayed up. Because John chapter, I think, it might be 57, I think. Matthew 57, 27, 51, something like that. It lets you know other people got up from the grave, but Jesus is the only one got up, stayed up. So John chapter 20, verse 1. Go ahead.
The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre,
Sepulchre.
and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre.
Mm-hmm.
Then she runneth and cometh to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and saith unto them, They have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre.
Right.
And we know not. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
Let me see. Let me get my bearing right quick. Yeah. Taken away from the sepulchre. Then she runneth and cometh to Simon Peter and to the other disciples whom Jesus loved, and saith unto them, They have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre. And we know not where they have.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
That should be it.
And we know not where they have laid him. Peter
okay, so now check this out, right? I just keep thinking about that next Friday when they was in that room, he was sucking with that vacuum. Oh man! It says the first day of the week, come Mary Magdalene, right? When it was yet dark. So that would be like this evening, right? Right now, it's the 7th day of the week, right? Now we don't go. Shut it up for a minute. We don't go past 7 days. We just have 7 days in 1 week. At the end of the 7 days, we go into the first day. So they was dealing with the same time frame that we're dealing with now. So this is why it's saying the first day of the week, come Mary Magdalene, when it was yet dark, until the and see the stone taken away from the sepulchre, right? So the stone was already gone when she got there. This stone is actually the stone that was outside of Jesus' tomb. So when she get there, it's gone. Now this is the first day of the week now, while it was yet dark. So in other words, this evening when the sun go down, when we get ready to leave here, like say soon as the sun start to go down, we enter into the first day of the week, because that's how the Lord determines time. So read verse 2, brother.
Then she runneth and cometh to Simon Peter
and
to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and saith unto them, They have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre, and we know not where they have laid him.
Okay, so now he's gone, right? She said, we don't know where he laid. We don't know where they laid him, but Jesus is already gone. So let's just keep reading a little bit. We're gonna go down to let's pick it up at verse 11. Go ahead.
But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping, and as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre, and seeth 2 angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Jesus had lain. And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest thou?
Okay, this ain't what I want. Now we got what's the name? We got John chapter 20, the first verse saying that the first day of the week, Mary came to the sepulchre while it was yet dark, right? So now let's go to Matthew 28. Let's look over here again in another place pertaining to the same situation here. Now let's look at what Matthew 28 says. All right, verse 1 and go ahead.
In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week.
Okay, so we got it coming from another angle, right, Brother Blue? It says in the end of the Sabbath, right? So as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, that means the first day of the week ain't got here yet. As it began to dawn at the end of the Sabbath. So that's like as the sun begins to go down in the next couple, about 3-4 hours. What time is it?
It's about 4 or something.
Yeah, so when the sun starts getting ready to go down here shortly, we still gonna be in the end of the Sabbath day. We're not gonna actually go into the first day of the week until the sun is actually down. Well, that's the same situation we got going on here. So that's why it says in the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week. Go ahead.
Came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and set upon it.
Right, and skip down to verse 6 and see what happens here.
He is not there.
No, you read 5. Read verse 5.
And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear not, ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen. As he said, come see the place where the Lord lay. Okay, so now that should answer that for you a little bit, right? Well, now it should answer pretty good, because that actually gives us more of a definite time frame as far as the days are concerned. So we know Jesus didn't get up on Sunday, and he had to be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. He got up right before the first day of the week. Now, another reason why he had to get up before the first day of the week is because the first day of the week points to, or the 8th day, or the first day in this case, points to a new beginning. So the Lord gave mankind 7,000 years or 7 days in his sight to be in this flesh and blood. On the 8th day, which is going to be a new beginning, man is going to be something completely different than what he is now. So that's why Jesus had to get up before the first day of the week. So I hope that answers your question, brother. So that was just something to jump us off. Anybody else? No questions? Thank you. All right. Well, we got a question from Cena. The question is, where in the Bible did Israel first get commanded not to deal with other nations? When the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, this is when the Lord started letting Israel know not to deal with other nations. Now, he wasn't talking about them not dealing with other nations based on color. He was talking to Israel, telling them not to deal with other nations because they served other gods. And this is what the Lord was against. This is why he said in Exodus chapter 20 that he is a jealous God. Don't have no other gods before me. And he knew that if you dealt with these other nations dealt with other doctrines. And the Lord was absolutely against that. So let's look at let's see here when the Lord is going to start doing it. I know of a place in Deuteronomy chapter 8, but I believe it's something a little bit more sooner than that. Nathan. He's in the back.
Oh.
I remember that chair. I said, I remember that chair.
We brought it in. Every week. We get tired. We start doing Bible study all day. After Sabbath class. All right. So now we're gonna look at this a little bit more. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 8. It says we're gonna pick this up at. I'm sorry, Deuteronomy chapter 7. Deuteronomy chapter 7, and we're gonna pick this up at verse 1. All right, when you get it, brother, go ahead and read.
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus ye shall deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right. So the Lord didn't want Israel, mingling with these nations as far as other doctrines are concerned. That's almost like us dealing with unclean foods. The Lord calls certain foods an abomination because if you read the end of Leviticus chapter 11, you're going to see that he tells us to be ye holy, for he is holy. So even down to, different things we put inside our body, the Lord forbade that also, along with dealing with other nations, because the Lord didn't want us, messing around with other gods and stuff like that. So that's why he says here, for they would turn, in verse 4 says, for they would turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. So this is when he started. This is right when they was getting ready to go into the land. The Lord told them, don't deal with no other gods. And don't deal with no other nations based on this right here. So that's when, Cena, I hope you can put those in your notes. I think I see another place too. Let's look at let me see if something is in Exodus 23. Exodus chapter 23. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, pick it up at all right, pick this up at Exodus 23 and verse 20. Start at verse 20.
Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee, and bring thee unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Pezerites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images.
Right, because see, this is why the Lord didn't want Israel serving other gods, because this is what would happen. Or dealing with other nations, I'm sorry, because this is what would happen. They'd end up serving other gods. So the Lord didn't want that. But that's what I wanted to see right there. And we just read in Deuteronomy where they was getting ready to come into the land 40 years later. Same message was being passed along. Any other questions? Do you have any questions? Any questions?
I have a question.
What's the question, brother?
How the Lord will tell us not to have any idols before us. Like what could be something that could be an idol, not like you're setting up some kind of statue for worship, but it could be I don't know, something that you're spending more time with, more than building your relationship with the Lord. I just wonder about that for myself, or like coveting things, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be aware of that, because sometimes there are things that you can bring into your household, and it could be like an idol. Most people don't pay any attention to that, but I notice it right off, like I don't know.
Yeah, so what's really the question? Like, just sum it up for me.
I guess pretty much, what would be like idols.
Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
Okay.
Nathan, can you get out of there, please? You can go to the other bathroom and do that. First Corinthians chapter 10. Mainly,
What was the question?
mainly was an idol, right?
Mm-hmm. Keep it simple. 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
Hold on, I'm looking for something. One second. I'm looking for the idol as anything. Mm-mm. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Oh, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 19. How did I miss that? Oh, okay, duh. All right, so just answer this. What is an idol? Because it's not necessarily anything in particular. Okay, yeah, that Leviticus 19. We'll look at that too. But we're gonna look at something right here that's gonna let you know that an idol, what can an idol be? Go and read. Let's start this at verse 19.
Okay. What say I then? that the idol is anything, or that which is offered,
Go
or
ahead.
that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not have ye should have fellowship with devils.
All right, so notice what he says. Say, what say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. So 1 Corinthians 10:19. So like Brother Cam just asked, was an idol, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything can be idol.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Anything. So now we have specific different things that the Lord might have, different examples of what people did. But right here, we can see that, these people offering up food, they're offering up food to other gods. That's what like we looked at Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they was doing. They was offering food to other gods. And, at the end of the day, we know none of it matters because we only got one true and living God. You know what I'm saying? But the idol can be anything. You know what I'm saying? So like, for instance, the same way you bring in a Buddha in your house, you know what I'm saying? You can bring it in for decoration.
Yeah.
Some people actually can bring it in and go rub his stomach. You see what I'm saying? You may not do that. No. Like some people look at incense as being witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Like my father, when I was coming up, we couldn't burn incense. And you look in the Bible, and they burn incense. You know what I'm saying? So some people do certain things, but we have understanding you ain't bound down worshiping that stuff. Now let's go over to Matthew chapter 10, because when you start dealing with the word of God and getting understanding on the word, you can put things before the Lord. And that can become what you worship. And I'm not talking about, you worshiping as far as bound down to them, but you put more importance on, particular things as opposed to putting God in his respective place. All right, so let's pick this up at Matthew chapter 10 and verse, let's see here. It might be 12 that I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, we can look at this one right here. Matthew chapter 10, and let's pick this up at verse 34. Go ahead. Matthew 10, 34.
Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
So that's what's gonna happen when you start dealing with the word. It ain't gonna be peaceful. It's gonna be all hell breaking loose. So that is that's to be expected, but that comes with the territory. That comes with serving God. So with that being the case, you shouldn't expect anything otherwise, and you have to be willing to give up all that it is you used to, as far as family is concerned, tradition is concerned, because if you don't have faith enough to be able to put things in their respective places when it comes to the word of God, then you're not fit for the kingdom. And the Lord gonna let you know that. But pick this up at verse 34:5 and go ahead.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Okay, so this is where all the trouble gonna start at. You say the man's foes gonna be there of his own household, so you gotta expect things to happen there. If you're looking for if you expecting otherwise, more than likely you ain't gonna be able to deal with serving this God, because it's gonna be a lot of hell, a lot of different things that you have to put up with when it comes to serving God. Go and keep reading. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
So now, if you putting them, see, this is how you can end up putting somebody before the Lord. Like I say, not necessarily being your idol or nothing like that, as far as worshiping them, but just the order of importance. This is how you can end up putting things before the Lord. That's why the Lord goes on to say this. He let you know in 36 that a man's folk gonna be there of his own household. So you ain't gonna be caught off guard. He letting you know that, right out the gate. And then right after that, he told you, he said, what? And he that love father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that love son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So you got to give all this stuff up when it comes to serving God, because this can be more important, when we look at things. The world, we may look at things as, I can't make it to church. I got to go to my daughter volleyball game. I got to go to my son's football games and tryouts and all this type of stuff. Well, that's putting them before God. See what I'm saying? So it can be in that type of way also. But we do also have these examples of, worshiping actual idols. We'll look at that also. But it's something else that I'm looking for. I'm looking for fit for the kingdom. If somebody can Google that for me. Fit for the kingdom. My phone is not pulling it up. Why is my thing not coming up? Oh, Luke 9:62. Yours came up. Did it come up yet? I just had to turn mine off, but I'm turning mine back on. All right, Luke chapter 9. And let's pick this up at in this specific incident right here that the Lord is shining the light on. So Luke chapter 9, let's pick this up at verse 59. Luke chapter 9 and verse 59.
And he said unto another, follow me.
Uh-huh.
But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Jesus said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of God. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Jesus said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God.
After he said what now?
No man.
He said no man
having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God.
That's right. So you got to be able to put everything to the side when it comes to dealing with the gospel, even with things as far as burying people in your family. He said no man who having put his hand to the plow and looking back, it's fit for the kingdom of God. In other words, if you're gonna do this thing, you might as well be all the way in. And if you're not, you're gonna do it halfway, you ain't fit for the kingdom of God. But let's go look at this Luke right quick, and then I'm gonna open it back up. I should have drunk more coffee. Where is it at? Let's see here. Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 19. Now, because this is when you get off into worshiping these idols. This is gonna show you exactly gonna show exactly what constitutes you actually worshiping idols. Leviticus chapter 19. And let's pick this up at verse 4.
Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Lord your God.
Go ahead.
And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord, ye shall offer it at your own will.
Okay, that's good. So it just say, turn ye not to idols, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nor make to yourselves molten gods. I'm the Lord your God. So in other words, you ain't gonna be looking at these things to save you. In other words,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why he's saying turn. We talking about not turn physically. We talking about mentally. Don't turn to these gods, or don't turn to these idols. That's why he's saying turn ye not. In other words, keep your mind stayed on the Lord. So when you start looking at these things to be your answer, to make a way out for you and stuff like that, now you dealing with other gods. Now you worshiping other things.
I'm saying like the government or your job or
It can be anything. If any. That's why he say. That's why Paul said that the idol is anything. You know what I'm saying? And it can be anything. You know, but strictly right then, he was talking about people sacrificing food, you know, to other gods. And then you read further on in that chapter, you're gonna go into you know, letting us know that it's only one God and one Lord. So it don't matter whether they do it or not. But if somebody bids you to a feast regarding, you know, a feast that they cook to a god, then, you know, don't deal with that. Letting you know that it can be anything. You know, so right here, he said, turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves. Hold on. Oh, okay. All right, so right, so like it's saying, verse 4, turn ye not unto idols, nor make yourselves molten gods. This is another place I got here too. And idols, I just got a text, right? Idols, idols equals actual molten / graven image. I can't see that. Yeah, well, it not necessarily have to be graven images, because I can take it to Ezekiel and show you how the priests had put imageries inside their own heart. You know what I'm saying? So you can be looking at your boss as your God. You know, it ain't necessarily things that you see. So, but let's look at this other place, Leviticus chapter 26. So you can have different forms of God. Now, the common one we know is graven images and stuff like that, but idols ain't necessarily got to be those right there. You know, your idols can be your worship. You going to church on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? That's another God. Do you see him? No, that's another God, though. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't got pictures of Jesus and of Caesar Borgia in their house, but most of everybody does what? Worship on Sunday. That's another God. That's a sun God, right? But we don't see that sun God. So Leviticus chapter 26, and pick it up at verse 1.
Ye shall make you no idols,
nor
graven images.
Right, so you ain't gonna make no idols. No idols. None. Don't make no idols. Then it says what? No graven images, right?
Neither rear you up a standing image.
Neither
shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down onto it.
Okay, see that, and that's what eventually started to happen when you start. What he told you earlier before we came, he said, don't turn to these idols. And then he says what? Then he's saying this right here, don't bow down to it. When you bow down to it, what you doing? You worshiping it. You giving it the honor and the praise. And when you turn unto it, that's who you looking for your answers. That's why, you know, Israel was trying to go back into Egypt. And the Lord was trying to show them, no, I'm your God now. That's why he destroyed all that stuff they was dealing with. He was showing them who he was. So look at Exodus chapter 20. But right here, we see that he said, you should make no idols, no graven image, neither rear you up a standing image. So don't put no images up. Okay, as far as what? Neither shall you set up any image of stone in your land to do what? To bow down unto it. So you want to bring an image in your house, bro. I mean, it's a different when you start turning unto it, start bowing down unto it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to keep in perspective. You know, we even have people go so far enough to say, well, you take family portraits. You know, you worshiping you worship. You're not worshiping your family members when you put pictures up. Just pictures that you put up. Now, if you get up in the morning, you go look at them pictures and you start saying, you know, oh, sweet family, I need your blessing from you today. I need you to help me. And, you know, now you starting to worship them pictures. That's the same with putting up a standing idol in your home. You might, you know, I remember when I was a kid, I used to have like these, not a kid, when I was, but me and Malia had just got together. And we was in our 20s and we had this little tiger. It was black. I don't know, it gets a little cougar or whatever. But it's like a little statue we used to have in the house back in the day. And but I didn't worship it. It's just something I had. You know. So that's just little, you know, simple stuff. I mean, just simple things to understand. It's a difference in worshiping these things as opposed to just having it up as decoration. You know. Now you want to sit outside, you want to go wash your car on the Sabbath day. Now you putting your car before the Lord. You may not be worshiping your car, you know, but now you just putting it before the Lord. I think it was at Keith, Malia. Keith had some in his house. Yeah, in the apartment, Malia. Yeah, so that's it on that. Let's go look at 1 Corinthians chapter 10. First Corinthians chapter 10. Well, I was in the house. What I did have in our house was a black Jesus. I didn't worship him though, but I shouldn't have had that though. Because he said no images as far as anything in heaven, on earth, beneath, and none of that. You know what I'm saying? We weren't supposed to have none of that as far as that. So I did have that, but I didn't know no better. So, so 1 Corinthians chapter 10, let's just go back and look at this. See if we can just kind of understand it. We went through it the other night. I didn't want to really look at it right now, but we can. My throat is just kind of dry. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Let's pick this up at verse 16. I got one. Thank you.
The cup of blessing which we bless, it is not the communion of the blood of Christ.
Right. So it said, is it not? So, but right before we go there, pick it up at verse 14 so we can read down into what's going on.
Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. I speak as to wise men.
Okay, so notice what he just said. He said, wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. What is idolatry? Huh?
Putting anything before the Lord.
What is idolatry? Uh-huh. That ain't covered. Idolatry. What'd you say, Cam?
I said it's anything that you put before the Lord.
Worshiping. It seemed like it should be just like worshiping the idols. Yeah, worshiping idols. Oh, yep, that's what it is. Worship of idols. That's idolatry, right? Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we understand that. Yeah. All right, so what did Paul say in verse 14? He said, wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from what?
Idolatry.
Idolatry. Flee from worshiping of idols. Okay? Now go and pick this up. He said, 15, I speak as to wise men, judge ye what I say. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, and you make the, you know, let me, in other words, judge you what I say. You see if what I'm saying is wrong. All right, judge you what I say. Go ahead and read verse 16.
The cup of blessing which we bless,
mm-hmm.
is it not the communion of the blood of Christ?
Okay, go ahead.
The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ? For we bring many are one bread and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread.
Right. So it said the cup of blessing which we bless. Why is he talking about a cup of blessing which we bless? Remember what he said now. He said, judge ye what I say. Okay. Judge what I'm about to tell you. All right, you make this decision, right? You decide. Okay, that's what he's talking about. You decide here. The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ? Now that's a question for us, right? The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ, right? That's what we deal with, correct? Even with the Passover, that represents what? The blood of Christ, correct? It says the bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ? We understand that. That's what that's about, right? Every Passover, correct? Okay. It says for we being many are one bread and one body. So even though we have different members inside this body, spiritually we are one bread and one body, right? Okay. So we don't have all these different type of breads or different doctrines, and we got one. We're dealing with one body, one bread, right? And then he says here, for we are all partakers of that one bread. Verse 18, and go ahead.
Behold, Israel, after the flesh, are not we which eat? Are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so notice what it says. Behold, Israel after the flesh, talking about the tribe of Levi, right? Because he said, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? So the ones who eat the sacrifices, right? Aren't they the one that do the service? Aren't they the ones that do the duties at the altar? Huh? We all understand that so far? Malia, you get that? I need to know her before we go on. I need to know if you understand that. Huh? Okay. So it said, behold, Israel after the flesh, talking about the tribe of Levi, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? Verse 19, go ahead.
What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything?
Okay, so he just said, what say I then? That the idol is anything. I cannot see them chairs. The idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. Verse 20.
But I say that the things with the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils.
So he just say here, like you say, but I say the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, not to God. But right before that, he just told us. My point in coming here was just to show that the idol is anything. So I don't know how else to explain it though. Yeah, that's what it just said. No, I'm saying not me.
Okay. All right. I just have to take it as it's written.
Yeah, that's all I can see. It said, behold, Israel after the flesh are not they which eat of the sacrifices, partakers of the altar. And we know that they are, right? What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything.
Sounds like the same thing.
Where it is the question. That's what I said. He said, what say I then? So what What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? Oh, okay, you right. That's a good point out right there. He's asking a question. He's not making a statement. Okay, so yeah, you're right. Okay, praise the Lord. So what he's saying is, no, he's not saying that the idol is anything. He's asking a question. That's why I say, what say I then? Question mark. And then he says that, what say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is an offering and sacrifice to idols is anything? But he goes on to say, in other words, no, it's not. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils. So yeah, he's not really saying idols anything. So I ain't understand that. What's up, Malia? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's a question. Good point. I ain't putting no attention.
So this is going to be something that you're making sacrifices to, or that you're worshiping, correct? But it's not real. Like it's a statue or some kind of figurine or something. You're rearing up this.
No. In other words, no. Go ahead. Right. Yeah, he is. So the point is it 16 or 19? 19. So what do you see there? You see he's saying the idol is anything?
I'm like, you feeling like you're getting some kind of blessing or some kind of supernatural something that's going on by dealing with this thing. You know, I'm not just going to worship some Jordans just because, like, I'm getting something from this transaction.
Right.
I'll agree with that.
Right, but that can be anything.
Like I'm going to kill somebody in the name of this cup to appease my cup, pretty
much. Right, but I think we were trying to find out. I think the statement was an idol can be anything, right? So. Right. So what is he saying then? Oh, okay. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8.
I'm trying to learn too. So
let's just see.
Right
Because when we read further down into 1 Corinthians chapter 10, you're gonna let us know that it don't matter. We're only dealing with when we're dealing with the Lord, that's the only thing that matters. But I understand what you're saying. You're saying this particular verse is asking the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's question marks in it.
Right there,
Yeah, it got question marks in it. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. I could have been reading it like that because how it was phrased, I'm trying to understand, like, okay, what is he trying to imply here?
All right, so it say, what say I then?
Mm-hmm.
That the idol is anything,
Mm-hmm.
that the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. But notice what he say. He say, but I say that the things with the Gentile sacrifice, they sacrifice the devil. So the idol can be anything.
Yes.
That you understand?
Yes.
The idol is anything.
Mm-hmm. As it's written.
all right, what he say right here? He says in verse 19, what say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything?
That which is offered sacrifice.
But he gonna let you know, the idols might be anything, but the sacrifices concerning the Gentiles, nah, they sacrifice the devils. But yet the idol still can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he gonna go on further, let you know, sacrificing the idols ain't anything. That's sacrificing to devils. You understand that?
So anytime you sacrifice to an idol, that's not for the Lord.
Right. But the idol still can be anything.
Yes.
Because that's why when he asked the question here, in other words, he was letting you know the difference between the two. He said, what say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is an offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say the Gentiles, but I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, not just the idols, because they can be anything, but the things that the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. So that don't take away from idols being anything. He just go on to hound on the point a little bit more. Listen, when we get to sacrificing devils, when the Gentiles get to sacrificing, they sacrificing the devils. And as you go further, we can go a little further. We spent like how long on this other day? No. I'm saying on Wednesday night Bible study. We had went over for I think about a good 30, 45 minutes. No. It can be an idol. Anything can be an idol. That's what it's telling you here. Yeah, notice, look at what Paul said. Look at what he asked you in verse 19. Just follow me on this, right? What say I then? That the idol is anything? Yep, it is. Or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? Nah, wait a minute. No, why? But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. So they sacrifices ain't anything. But, their idols can be anything. But he go on to correct the second part of that question in verse 20. Yeah, so that's all I see on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the Bible,
it's two questions in verse 19.
It gives an example of people sacrificing to a particular, idol, like, Molech. I've read about that, but can you give an example of the other anything? You know what I'm saying? Maybe that'll put it more in the mind frame.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
He don't want you sacrificing the stuff, and even if you are sacrificing, it's the devils.
Yeah, but it's really simple though. Like the idol can be anything. Okay. You can make anything an idol. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But when you start sacrificing, like what do you say? You sacrifice on the devils. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like the pyramids in Egypt can't be an idol, or the pyramid period can't be an idol unless they start worshiping it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a pyramid.
Okay.
When they start putting all seeing eye on top of it, which represent the Illuminati and all that type of stuff, we know what they worship Satan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They actually do sacrifices for that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's to the devil. But by itself, it's just an idol. It's just sitting there.
Okay. Just a dumb idol.
Yeah, you can. That's what he's saying. He says. I mean, he asked both questions. He answered one and left the other one unanswered, to let you know. No, the sacrifice to idols cannot just be anything, but an idol can be anything. Because that's why he says it in verse 19. He say, "What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything." But he's not going to even answer the first question. He's going to go on to make sure he clears up the second question. The second question is what, Brother Cam?
But I say that the things with the Gentiles sacrifice.
What was the second question in verse 19?
As I was. What verse is that? Sorry, I lost my place.
19.
Okay. What say I then? That the idol is anything.
Okay, so now we got don't forget, this is a part of the question, right? He says, "What say I then? That the idol is anything?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what?
Or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything.
Right. So when he go on to verse 20, he's still going to be dealing with this sacrifice, right?
Mm-hmm.
What part of the question was that? Was that the first question or the second question?
Be the second one.
Okay. So he going to say, in other words, verse 20, he going to say, "Nope. I say the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice the devils." So that he letting you know that right there ain't anything, because the question was, is idol anything? And that which is offered in sacrifice, are those just anything? He going to 20 to let you know, wait a minute. When it comes to sacrificing things, no, they sacrificing the devils. But he never touched on the idol being anything. Remember, that's a part of the question too, right? So he left that alone. Why? Because the idol can be anything. Do you guys understand that? You still don't understand that? Okay, well, it's all good. That's all I see on it. But he answered the second question, because the second question, it can't, when you sacrificing, it can't just be anything. He said the Gentiles sacrifice the devils. You know. Because the first one he said the idols are anything, Malia. So the question was, Cam asked me what can be an idol. And that's why we came here, to show that idols is anything. But sacrificing to idols, now you sacrificing the devils. That's the difference. So that's all we were showing.
Okay. I get it.
Praise the Lord. Any other questions? We're in Matthew chapter 7. She just asked where we was at. Now, where's in Matthew chapter 7? Where's in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, Tiana? In verse, we read from 16 down to 20. Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and I think we read from 14 down to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's just look at this a little bit further. Let's pick this up at verse 27. Go ahead and read.
If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast.
Okay, so you got some people, right? They done made some food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? He said, any of them believe not, they bid you to a feast. They invite you to, where is my kids at? What are they doing? Can somebody check? Oh, okay. Okay. It says, Nathan, come in. If any they believe not, bid you to a feast, and you be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake, right? So this just like a regular piece of food. They just having a dinner, right? Now this is what's gonna make this dinner different, showing you that the idol can be anything. Because we can turn it from being just a dinner into a sacrifice. Because notice what he's gonna say in verse 28. Go ahead.
But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols.
Okay, so if he say, wait a minute, this food that we cook actually is in sacrifice unto idols, go ahead.
Eat not for his sake that shoot it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof.
Right. So, it ain't nothing wrong with it if it ain't, no sacrifice, right? If it's just sitting there and it's just y'all just having dinner and stuff like that, it's cool. But they tell you it's offered in the sacrifice, then they say eat not for conscience sake. Right? Go ahead. And it ain't for your conscience. Go ahead and read.
Conscience, say that thine own. I'm at 29. That's how it starts.
It start like that, but it don't come behind like that.
Conscience, I say not.
I say right.
Okay, I'm tripping. I say, not thine own, but of the other.
Oh, not for your conscience. So if you eat, because keep in mind, it don't matter. Like really, it don't matter because at the end of the day, the only God that's the true and living God that matters is our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that's why he's saying not for your conscience. He said, conscience, I say, not thine own, but what?
For why is
but of the other. Now keep reading. Okay. Keep reading.
Man, I'm lost.
Verse 29.
Okay. I say, not thine own.
So he say, conscience, I say, not thine own,
but of the other.
But of the other. So you ain't really got to worry. We know better, right? We understand that what you doing don't matter. Like you can cook food to pigs. Don't cook no pig and offer me no pig. But that ain't what Paul talking about. This whole thing is talking about sacrificing to devils and sacrificing to God. Okay? Because like we were saying the other night, people like to use this right here to say you can eat any type of meat, which we know that's not the case. It wasn't being used there. First off, Paul is talking to the saints. So he ain't finna go into this and start talking about the dietary law. He just letting them know, listen, if somebody offer you meat from the shambles, eat. Don't worry about what it is, just go and eat. That's like and like I said the other day, when you dealing with people and they know how you get down and stuff like that, believe me, they ain't gonna put no pork out there in front of you. They already know your habits. So every time I show up to my mother-in-law house, I ain't gotta ask her, you sure this ain't no pork? You sure you ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go through all that. Because they already know what that ain't even a question. That ain't what we talking about right here. What we talking about is sacrificing to idols and sacrificing to God. So he's letting you know if whatever's sold in the shambles, they give you to eat, whatever sold in the shambles that eat, asking no question for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, right? Because the Lord, if they ain't put it out there in front of you and said that we made this food for other gods, then you eat it, you know what I'm saying, asking no question for conscience sake. He said, verse 26, for the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. Now, verse 27, it says, if any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, you want to go to this feast, right? Whatsoever set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. All right, go and eat it. But like I said, they already, the dietary law is not even in this question here. We just talk, like I said, sacrificing idols, sacrificing to God. So it said, but if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. Conscience, I say what? Not thine own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? See, we know that we free from this, right? Like we know, and when I say free from this, we understand that, dude, you cooking this food, it's vanity. You making this food for idols is vanity. So, the Lord ain't gonna kill you if you ate of it. You got this liberty. You know it's a bunch of BS. However, the Lord is saying for their sakes, you might want to think twice about this. That's why he say, our conscience, I say, not thy own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? Because he gonna look at you like, yeah, you know better, or you say you do this and do that, but why are you sitting here eating with us? Why you say you don't celebrate this and all this type of stuff, but and still you still eating here with us? Now you gonna open up a can of worms. What's your question? Yeah. Uh-huh. Huh? No.
Witchcraft.
Right. Just right. In this case right here, though, that's what he's talking about. But it's hard to talk to you behind that chair. Seriously, you got one eye looking at me. What? All right, go ahead. Don't matter. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Right, we talking about foods. Yeah, that's what we talking about. Worshiping the idols. Because that's what idolatry is, period. Now he goes on to give an example. Yeah, you're right. That may not be a great example. I don't think so. It may not be a great example. Yeah, that thing that falls more on the line of Matthew chapter 10, what we just read about, putting things before the Lord and stuff like that. So that wouldn't fall up on the worship and the sacrifice. You get that? Got that? Can we move on now? No, I'm saying you got that. Is that clear for you? That's good, right? Okay, cool. All right, so he said, but I say, where we at? Conscience I say, not thine own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience, right? But verse 30, what it say?
For if by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that for which I give thanks?
Because you just giving thanks for the food, yet still you being evil spoken of because you're taking part in the stuff that the things that they doing, the sacrifices that they offering up, even though it's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? But that's what he says. What he says, not for your own sake, but for not conscious sake concerning ourselves, but conscious sake, their sakes. Okay, that's why you don't want to do it. All right, but verse 31. Go ahead.
Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do all to the glory of God.
Mm-hmm.
Give none offense, neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of God.
That's right. So in other words, you don't want to be a stumbling block. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So that's all I say on that. That's why I just wanted to read it a little bit further. All right. So any other questions? Malik, would you give me my charge out your purse, please? Oh, boy. Please. Thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead. No. I said what I said would probably match it more with Matthew. You know, like your job and all that. You're putting all that stuff. Well, just what? Say that again. Whichever one it is. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if we say that, yeah. I mean, yeah, it might fall. I mean, because for us to say that, then I'm gonna have to say your job is a God, and then that's the case. I can call it idol. You know, but then again, like you could be looking at your job to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? You can be looking at your job to be the one that's gonna provide for you, and actually, when God is the one. So, I mean, you could possibly make a decision to go to work because you feel like you got to get paid, you know, to pay your bills and skip the Sabbath day. I mean, but that could be more something spiritually. You know, that's just me bouncing around. You know what I'm saying? Not definite. That's just something you just bouncing around. Could you get me a charger? I'm gonna charge that to purse. Right quick. Yeah, that's all I see with that. So that's why I said that right there. I think that would that possibly can fall more up under Matthew 12. Idolatry, worshiping of idols. Yeah, that's worshiping other gods. Will you tell them to bring me the extension cord? That's worshiping other gods. Oh, man. Hold on 1 second. This is only me that don't use it.
Now number 2 is in the sanctuary.
No.
Let me get a Tic Tac.
Who's that?
Get a Tic Tac, bro.
Say that again. No, he retracted that, but that's more like putting God first.
I'm not using that light, dude.
Use all the lights. He's gonna use it right now. Bible in plain view.
Can you hear her or no?
You can repeat it once you're done. Did you tell Nate to bring my thing?
It's right here.
You plug it up right in the back and just like pass it through here. What's your question?
Huh?
What's your question?
Oh, I'm not on speaker, am I? I don't want to be on speaker.
What's your question?
Okay. Okay, my question, I was just basically asking that last example that you gave. Were you saying that the food was the idol in that instance? Or were you just saying that it could be, because I was looking at verse 28, and at first I thought you saying that the food could be an idol, but then this verse 28 wouldn't make sense to me.
The food in the 28 is the sacrifice.
What did you say?
It's the sacrifice.
Oh.
Yeah, it says it's the sacrifice.
Oh my gosh, you got me on speaker. Okay. Well, okay. That was just all I was, because I was kind of confused. Because I was trying to follow, but I see that now.
You got a what?
What?
Say that again.
I said I was trying to understand, and I think I get it now. And I'll probably ask again in the future.
Yeah, I'm explaining. Hold on. Yeah, so you look at 28. It says, if a man, if in 27, read 27, Cam. And notice what it's saying before we go down into it. You online?
Am I online?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's kind of late. Like I had to turn the volume down because it's kind of like late. It's confusing.
Oh.
On the phone with you.
Oh, okay. All right. So go ahead, Cam, read verse 27.
If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question.
Right. So we talking about food. So it says if somebody bids you to a feast, you want to go to it, go ahead and go, asking no questions for conscience sake.
Mhm.
All right. Go ahead, verse 28.
But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols.
But if any man say unto you, we cook this food in sacrifice to idols, what?
Eat not for his sake that shewed it.
Eat not for his sake that showed it. So the food is just a sacrifice used, to worship, to sacrifice up to idols. That's all.
If you eat this food, you're serving this God.
Hold on. Only one person can talk. Say that again. Say that again, Cena. Oh, okay. Praise the Lord. All right. So, do you have anything else on Emily? Now, let's go look at some Ezekiel chapter 8 right quick. And I think I got a question online. Ezekiel chapter 8. And let's pick this up at you got a charge, Emily? I think your phone about to go down. All right, so Ezekiel chapter 8. And let's pick this up at I'm trying to figure out the imagery. Somebody snoring. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, so let's just go look at yeah, that's enough on that. Let's go to Acts chapter 12. Brother Joseph, peace, Brother Joseph. He asked the question. Let's see here. It says, Acts chapter 12 and verse 4. On the location where they kept Easter, and can I use king? Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know where they kept it at. Acts chapter 12. Let's go see where they kept it. Acts chapter 12. And let's see here. I don't think I'm understanding the question though. Like when you say where do they keep it at? Like what city? Because if that's the case, this is gonna be like more toward Jerusalem. But this is talking about Herod. This is what they did. So he said, yeah, because Herod was king over king over Israel. He was set up to be king. So this is where they had kept that at. But let's just read it. Acts chapter 12 and verse 1. Go ahead and read.
Now, about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church,
Mm-hmm.
and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison.
Okay, so this at this time, these were the days of unleavened bread, right? So it says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternion soldiers to keep him, intending what?
Intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Right. So from my understanding, it's like kind of like we deal with today. You know what I'm saying? We deal with the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and they deal with Easter. You know, some people say this is supposed to be Passover, but, I don't know if this is supposed to be Passover. Because Passover don't mean Easter. Easter is from Esdras, and Passover is throughout all the different places. But, they were even keeping Easter during that time, just like we're doing now. But this was their feast. This is what they celebrated, if I'm correct on this. So it says, when he apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Go ahead and read.
Okay. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. And when Herod would have brought him forth the same night, Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains.
Right, that's good. So this is that was actually that's up in Jerusalem. That's where where Herod ruled from. All right, so now he said, can he use 1 Kings chapter 11, 5 through 8 to show that Easter was around? Yeah, if you see that in there, then more than likely it was, because Easter ain't nothing new. This was something they was doing in Egypt, so it's been around for a long time. So let's see here. 1 Kings Brother Cam. Chapter 11. Yeah, man, I'm about to call. I'm about to go and hang it up. All right, so yeah. Right, yeah. You could use this to show, but Astaroth actually, I think it meant something else. Estra is when you came in with all the eggs and stuff like that. Astral is like what is it? The god. Astra is the god of fertility. Astaroth was another god, and I think they just put them all together. Remember, the Romans was trying to keep the pagan worship into the church. Now they just say we're gonna have one God, but they gonna keep all the customs of Easter. That's why I tell you, Easter, for instance, was added to the Christian calendar. You know, so let's see something. Yeah, so it's also Astarte. So they just put them together. I think Astaroth might have went back a little bit further to further back, but I believe you can use that because it has been around for a long time. Estra come from estrogen, Astaroth, the sex god, and all that type of stuff. So, and you can see they use the Easter eggs and all that type of stuff to represent fertility. So, I believe you can. I'm just trying to find Astaroth, a good because I don't have my book with me. I usually have a book that got all that stuff in there. Let me look in this book right here. It might be in here. It says here, let's see here. Yeah, you should get that chair. Get one of those. Don't sit low.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sit so low on that one. Let me look in this book right here. See what I got. I think it's some. Strong. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Good Lord of mercy.
What is that?
Strong's. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sit up a little higher now.
Yeah, this is like a lot more comfortable.
I don't sit in that chair.
I don't even know why I was sitting in
I
that.
don't even know why you brought the preacher chair. They suck. Yeah, you should be able to, man. That's all. It's not really showing me nothing on it, but they go hand in hand. Astaroth, Estra, Astarte, all that, which is the same as Astaroth. So they go hand in hand, but you could use it. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Feel free. Feel free.
I have a question. I said I have a question.
What's your question, Brother Cam?
On that particular holiday, like when people celebrate New Year's, what are they really celebrating? Because I didn't. Yeah, I didn't hear about that. Well, I've heard the reason why, but I've never heard that before until I came to the church. I didn't know that there was like a alternate meaning behind that. But it doesn't make any sense for you to be celebrating like a new year, but it's like pretty much the middle of the winter time. Yeah, yeah, everything's dead. But traditions of man.
Right, that's all it is.
Yeah.
You worshiping when you
Mm-hmm.
worship New Year's, you just really worshiping the god Janus. That's all. Janus was known to see the past and the future. So you come into the new year looking back. That's why they have a celebration on the 31st as they go into the new year. Celebrating the old, entering into the new. But it has nothing to do with the Bible. The Lord's New Year is actually in the month of Abib. And by the by certain things that are and you can see the different events that happen outside to let you know when the new year is coming in. So just imagine, like, if we didn't have calendars, we didn't have watches and times and clocks and all that type of stuff, but the Lord told us to observe certain feasts and seasons and stuff like that, how would you be able to tell? And one of the ways you would be able to tell is by the new moon. You get 12 new moons. Every 3 new moons, it take you into another cycle. Or, when it comes to the new year, and that's from my understanding, but when it comes to the new year, you can see everything begin to blossom outside and come back to life. So in the dead of winter, there's nothing new about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lord lets you know, like, when to keep his new year. So we can look at Exodus chapter 12 right quick. Exodus chapter 12.
Mm-hmm.
And let's pick this up at verse 1. When you get it, go ahead and read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
So the beginning of the month is going to be the first month of the year to you, right?
Mhm.
But he called it, he don't say it right here. He said in Exodus 13. But this is going to be unto you the beginning of the month. It shall be the first month of the year, right? So now going to Exodus chapter 13.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And read that verse 4.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
This day came ye out in the month Abib, and it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month.
Okay, so this is still that month now. Now going to Exodus chapter 23. That ain't what I'm looking for, though. I'm looking for when everything he's gonna tell you about it blossoming and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most of everything we have is made up,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, Deuteronomy 16:1. That's pretty good. Let's go there. Deuteronomy 16
Mm-hmm.
and pick it up at verse 1.
Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God.
Okay, so he say what? Observe the month of Abib, right?
That's correct.
Keep reading.
And keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee from out of Egypt by night.
Okay, so we talking about the Passover, right?
Mhm.
All right, so it's called the month of Abib, right?
Mhm.
All right, so now let's go to Leviticus chapter 23 and let's see when this Passover is. You know, let's see what part of the calendar Abib actually is.
Okay.
All right, so Leviticus chapter 23, this is a chapter of the Lord's feast days. So Leviticus chapter 23, I'm going to pick this up at verse 4.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which he shall proclaim in their season. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover.
Wait a minute. In the 14th day of the first month is the what?
At even is the Lord's Passover.
Okay, so we just saw in Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1, right? What month you gonna keep Passover?
In the first
It's called what though?
Abib.
Abib,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So we say Abib is the first month.
Yeah.
Right. So every year when we keep the Passover, that's the beginning.
Yes.
And the Lord named this month. This month is called Abib.
Okay.
All right. If I'm not mistaken, it actually means spring forth.
Abib means spring forth?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Type it in your phone and see what it says. But yeah, I think it means spring forth, something like that. Yep.
For my service.
So that's the difference in us. You know, Satan has to do almost everything opposite of what God does. So here it is. The new year is when things begin to blossom and come back to life. But Satan said, no, the new year is when everything is completely dead. The Lord say the seventh day is a Sabbath day of rest, right? Satan say, no, the first day is the Sabbath day, right?
Mhm.
So we got everything completely opposite. The Lord say you're going to die and go to the grave. Satan say, no, you're going to die and go to heaven. So that's the same way with, you know, the Lord's new year. It's the same exact way Satan doing completely opposite of what the Lord said. So yeah, what's your you got it?
No, my phone tripping.
You got it off? Turn the Wi-Fi off?
No, I turned the network on.
You know what I'm saying? You turn it off?
Yeah.
Huh? Nissan?
Yeah, my phone ain't working.
Ooh.
I tried to type into the search bar and it's like, oh, you need to reload.
Oh.
Man, it's tripping.
Yeah, I thought it was in the Bible though.
Mhm. I've heard it missing before.
You know what I'm saying? It means spring forth. Yeah, we just saw a bib. I'm talking about spring forth. I might have just looked it up. But nevertheless, a bib is a new month. I mean, a new year. Hold on. What did it say? Yeah, me too. Yeah, it says yeah, Abib means spring forth. But I just can't I'm trying to look for a definition of it. So let's look at Leviticus. Yeah, that's what it is. Huh?
What?
Leviticus 23.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. But that's all on that. But yeah, it's definitely you're definitely not supposed to. I mean, it's worshiping other gods, so I don't celebrate it.
Yeah.
Me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. So if it ain't serving God, I'm not celebrating it. If it's worshiping another God, I'm not gonna celebrate it. And New Year's is a worship of another God, and the Lord told us don't have no other gods before Him. So I do not celebrate New Year's. It ain't new to God anyway. The book just said the Gentile sacrifice the devil. Any other questions? Any other questions? What day the Father get back? Who? What day the Father get back?
Talking about the Sabbath.
Hold on, Malia. What day the Father get back, Cam?
The Sabbath of the Lord.
I can't tell you that because if I tell you yeah, then we might be giving an answer away. So what day do the Lord get back, Brother Cam, says Tiana? Brother Cam?
I said the Sabbath.
The Father.
Oh, the Father. Oh, it would be Monday. I mean, Sunday.
Yeah.
It would be Sunday.
The 8th day, yeah.
The 8th day.
Mm-hmm.
After the Lord's 1,000 years.
Yeah, that's
reign.
right. That's right. Absolutely. Oh man, any other questions, guys?
No
Fire up. Keep us awake.
No more flesh on this planet.
Please ask, challenge, or something. Do something. Don't just, please, I don't care. Just ask some questions. Come on, man. I don't want to leave yet. I'm hungry, though. I know that. But I'm all right. Any questions?
I wish Dakota was here.
Yeah. Daisy just ran to the back. And when she ran to the back, Tiana lifted up with Micah. So in my head, it looked like Micah just ran to the back. And she just picked him up. He jumped in her arms. That was crazy how that happened. Come on, somebody. We wasting camera space. I mean, Google Plus.
Sorry, something like saying 4 people. Sorry.
Come on. Yes, ma'am. What's your question on Obadiah 21? Us. Heck, I don't know. No, but we're gonna go read it though. But yeah, that's Savior's gonna come up. Obadiah verse 21, it's only one verse, right? It's on page 1001.
It's 1,001.
You got it?
Yeah.
1001.
Okay, we got the same one.
Yeah, 1001.
Obadiah verse 21. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
Mm-hmm. I'm just reading up. Wow. So verse 14. Let's start at verse 14 to read down. No, I mean 15.
For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen,
Mhm.
as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame.
Y'all broke the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're in church, like live church.
Mhm.
It's okay.
As I was.
At ease.
And the house of Joseph a flame, and the
Uh-huh.
house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the
Right.
Lord have spoken it. And
So
they-
this is when the Lord returned,
Mhm. And
right? We only got one day of the Lord. All right, go ahead.
And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the field of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath,
Uh-huh.
and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south, and Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
So we talking about at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it says Savior's gonna come up to do what? Judge the mount of Esau, right? So we know angels ain't gonna be judging, right? When the Lord get back? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just talking about the saints. This is what's gonna be happening at this time. Now when the Lord get back, they're gonna come back and judge and make war. You know, we gonna but right now, as far as saviors are concerned, you know, we gonna be in this realm right here. So let's look at another place. Give me 1 second. Yeah, but you know what though? It could be both though. I believe it could be both because when the Lord get back, he coming to take down. He said sword gonna be bathed in bowls, right? That's the first place. That's the first thing he gonna have a problem with. Okay. So we know that the angels coming back to judge and make war with the Lord, but also we are too though. So let's look at this Psalms chapter 149. Psalm 149, 7:18.
Where do you want me to start?
Psalm 149, to pick it up at verse 5.
Okay. Let the saints be joyful in glory.
Mm-hmm.
Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people.
Right, because see, this is what the saints gonna be doing when the Lord get back, and that's another form of judgment also. You know, but we talking about saviors. You know, as far as saving, I'm not sure what we're gonna be saving, but you know, we could be the ones that's helping the Lord, you know, fight and also save Israel during that time. But we know angels gonna be gathering the elect. We know angels gonna be coming back fighting with the Lord. So in another place, he even called them saints. But as far as saviors, I would have to think that would be more toward us, though. But he said, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and the two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon unto the people." Because he's gonna have judgment on Esau, and that's when the Lord get back. So we gonna, be fighting this with the Lord. But keep reading.
Mhm. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron,
Mm-hmm.
to execute upon them the judgment written.
Oh, see that right there? Because he said what? To execute upon them the judgment written. Go ahead.
This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
Okay, so when he said he's gonna judge the mind of Esau, it could be making reference to us. At least that's what I was taught. But he said Savior shall come up on Mount Zion in Obadiah to judge the mount of Esau. So, one thing we look at right here though, it ain't gonna be no fighting in Mount Zion when the Lord get back, like as far as like when he set his kingdom up. And the war gonna take place where?
On earth.
See, this is what we do. We just look at, it's gonna take place on earth. But what we do here is we just get all the facts and put them on the table, and then we can get all the doubt off the table. So one thing we do know is that if you look at Obadiah Obadiah verse 21, verse number 21, it says, "And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion," right, "to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord." So this is during the time when the Lord got his kingdom set up, and it seemed like to me that you might have, people remaining from the house of Esau, not as far as the nation is concerned, but, the little remnant or the ones that are left coming up, and, the Savior is going to judge them, because it can't be talking about war. The reason why I say that is because the war is not going to take place. The saints or the saviors, if we are the saviors, not going to be fighting in Mount Zion. We going to be fighting outside of Mount Zion. So this looked like it's during the time when the Lord set his kingdom up, and judgment will be given to the saints, like we just saw in Psalm 148, all the way across, from fighting war, even to judging the saints and the nations and stuff like that. All right, but what was the other question, Sister Malia? What was the other question? Hmm. Who? Well, just think about it. It just seems like it don't seem, just off of what I'm thinking about, it don't seem like they will stop. You got a lot of people. Well, may not have that many people at that time. You got a numerous amount of angels. So it's a good question. I don't know. They might, all I can think is they'll probably be doing the same thing they're doing now. You'll probably just be helping them. Who, the angels? Well, they saints. Bible consider them saints too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, we could be over them at that time. Yeah, I'm saying no, I'm saying the first question. You know, we could be over them because remember they minister in spirit. So yeah, because we made a little lower than them right now. Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's me and you bouncing it off one another until I can find out like for sure. You know, but that's what I see because that's what they do now. They report to God, and then we gonna be God. You know what I'm saying? They report to God. Yeah, so if they report to God now, and we gonna be gods, then I would have to assume that they would point, probably report to us also. But not sure. I never saw anything pertaining to that. As far as the angels is concerned. Yeah, you talking about no, because even the angels gonna be in gonna have angels building up Jerusalem, rebuilding Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? But who gonna be the foreman over there? Zerubbabel. So they could be reporting. Yeah, it could roll like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like the Bible tell you, we made a little lower than the angels right now, and it doesn't appear. You know, yeah, they gonna have different things. I just think the Lord will probably just put them on. Their whole job is to serve man anyway, especially those that are gonna be heirs of salvation. So yeah. Any other questions? Micah, he gonna be running around soon. Any other questions? Let the church say amen. Be about 5 or 6 more.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All of it. Just read it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we look at Joel chapter 3.
Two people here.
No. 1, 2, yeah. Hey, that's what I made. I made a decision a long time ago. I don't care if it's 5 or 1.
Word is gonna get spread.
It's gonna get spread. That's what it's the Lord's Sabbath day.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see. I wait.
I'm just hungry, man.
What you want?
Yes.
Nate needs a sandwich right now.
I'm hungry again though. We need some coffee. We ain't got no coffee. You ain't bring no coffee, did you?
Coffee cake.
Coffee cake, man. All right. Let's go read Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3, go and pick this up at verse 1. page 992. You're welcome. $9.92. All right, Joel chapter 3, and let's see here. Do you know what part that we were talking about? Verse 2? Yeah. No, I think you're talking about that war. That was Zechariah 14. It's okay. Zechariah chapter 14. That's where we're going, brother. Zechariah chapter 14. I think it's toward the end of it or the middle of it. Anybody got any aspirin? Yeah, I need a goodies. Thanks for the ibuprofen, Tiana. 800? Will it keep me awake? What the guy got to do with me going to sleep? What? Can I have you guys are nuts. Can I please get something for my headache? Yeah, the Motrin, because I can just I don't have to put in the powder stuff. It'll choke me. All right, so verse 2, right? Now we were actually discussing what? Okay, and how it's going to switch over, right? Good Lord. Okay. This is big. Horse peel. These pregnant people. Oh my goodness. All right, so can you repeat that again, please? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, so Zechariah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2, right? Is that it so far? All right, so we're going to look at verse 1 and 2. Could you go and read that, brother?
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle.
Okay, so notice what we're looking at. The day of the Lord coming, right? And he said, thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. And at this time, he says, I'm going to gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, right? So the first thing that we have to do is find out when is he actually going to gather Jerusalem to battle, right? When is he going to do this? All right. So what's going to happen once he does this? Go ahead.
And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the land.
Okay, so now actually what we're looking at a particular time frame. This is going to take place. Now, what we see here is this is actually doing the sixth trump. And the reason why this is the sixth trump, because he says he's going to gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. So we need to go into Revelations and actually find out when this is going to occur. Somebody say occur.
Occur.
Occur?
Mhm.
Occur.
Occur.
Okay. Occur. Revelation chapter 16. And let's go look at this when this actually happens. And yeah, now keep in mind now, this is not the sixth seal. This is the sixth vial. Well, the trumpet represents the sixth seal. I mean, sixth vial. Y'all understand how these things roll out? Right. Where is that pertaining to? I'm saying where is that location where these women gonna be ravished and rifled? Right here in America. No. What did we just read, Sister Tiana? What? Verse 1.
Jerusalem.
Zechariah 14, verse 1. What did it say, sister? Keep going. Oh, so this is going to be in Jerusalem. Now, keep in mind, there's going to be a lot of wickedness going on, a lot of killing everywhere, but this here is a specific battle that's going to take place. All right? And he said, I'm going to gather all men to Jerusalem, all them to Jerusalem, right? Now, he going to gather all nations, but he gathering these nations over to Jerusalem, and we're going to see when this time going to take place. All right, so let's go into Revelations. You know what? Let's look at the sixth seal, sixth vial. Let's see here. I want to see the actual trumpet though. Before we look at that, I want to see the trumpet and how it introduces. Okay, yeah. Revelation 11. And all right, look at Revelation 8 and verse 13.
And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven.
Hmm?
You said Revelation 8 and 13?
9 and 13.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God,
Saying what?
saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
Okay, so right now at this point, right, there's a river Euphrates that's separating this army from coming over. Okay? But now when this trumpet is blown, what's going to happen?
The river's going to dry up.
Absolutely. It says to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the river Euphrates. Okay? And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for the slated third part of men. And what? Verse 16.
And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number.
So how many is that? Well, how many is 200,000? Hold on. You relax, because you know. You just what? You just gave an answer? What? Oh, okay. $200,000. So what is 200,000? It's just 200,000, right? So add another 200,000. So that's what? 100,000.
200 million.
200 million. My stomach is growling. It's 200 million.
That's a lot of men.
So y'all see all these guys that are coming over, right? Now, this is going to take place when the sixth trumpet is blown. Okay? It says, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the river Euphrates. So now you get down to 16. It lets you know the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. I heard the number of them, right? Okay, skip down to verse 18.
By these three was the third part of men killed by the fire.
What are our kids out there doing? As long as they all right. Long as they, okay, they sit down. Okay. All right, so he said by these three was the third part of men killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
By what?
By the smoke.
By the fire and by the smoke.
By
What
the
else?
fire and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of the mouths.
Okay, so our point is that we just wanted to come here and see what's going to happen in this river Euphrates. Now, let's go look at it again. Now, which trumpet did we see was blown at this time? That's all. Ain't nothing. Right, this is the sixth one. We just wanted to come here to show what's going to be happening in this river Euphrates and these men, where they coming, where they coming from. So now we also saw that this is what trumpet? The sixth trumpet, right? All right, so now let's go over to Revelation chapter 16. Revelation chapter 16. Let's see what happened once this trumpet is blown. Revelation 16, verse 12. Revelation 16 and verse 12.
And the sixth angel poured out the vial upon the great river.
Poured out his vial.
And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. And the water thereof was dried up.
Okay, so now we see what happened when these four angels were let loose, right? In other words, now we seeing what's getting ready to take place. The soldiers getting ready to come over, but the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water there was dried up. That what?
That the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Okay, so now guess what's getting ready to happen? You got these 200 million men that we just saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sixth trumpet, same accord. All right, so we got these 200 million men getting ready to go across this river Euphrates, because now they got to get down into Jerusalem. It's a river that's separating them right now. So once this river's dried up, which is going to take place at that sixth vial, now you're going to have them coming over. Okay? So now, skip down to verse 16.
And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon.
Okay, now we already saw that the Lord was going to do what? He was going to gather the nations together. Didn't we see that? So we saying the same thing here, but he going to do this when? And what trumpet?
Six.
The sixth trumpet. All right, so do you understand that?
So when we read that in Zechariah, that's not the day of the Lord. He's talking about the coming of the day.
The day of the Lord is a particular time frame. Because see, if you, it's like the day of the Lord is just, this is a time frame now. And the reason why we understand it to be a time frame, because right below that, what it say? It's saying go to Joel chapter 3 and notice what he's gonna say about this. Joel chapter 3, we're gonna see the day of the Lord again. But this time, what's gonna happen during the day of the Lord? 992. Joel chapter 3. And go ahead and read verse 1.
3 verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat,
Mm-hmm.
and will plead with them there for my people.
Right. So this is the same time frame. So we just call it the day of the Lord. This is all his action now. This is all him. You know what I'm saying? This all belongs to the Lord. This is his time.
So that's Armageddon when he goes, when he's pleading with them in the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's going to be Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by plead, we mean kill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
I think I was confusing myself in Zechariah.
Mm-hmm.
I was assuming that is the day of the Lord. But is it that because
No, it's upside down. Yeah, it's upside down. See, it's like this. So I was trying to do that without turning it over. But it's 6:30, so. All right, so go ahead.
so it say, behold, the day of the Lord coming, meaning like it's coming. So this is what's leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I would say assuming like that it already started.
No, it's on the way. He letting you know it's coming. But these are the events that's gonna happen. We got look at Joel 2.
What verse you want?
Joel chapter 2. Pick it up at verse 1.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Let all the inhabitants of the
Hold on.
land.
Wait.
990.
Wait. I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm already there.
That's all
Thank you though. You there? You there? All right, go ahead, bro.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh,
Mm-hmm.
for it is nigh at hand.
Right. So it said it's coming again. Go ahead.
A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever.
All right, start over, bro.
Okay.
Start from the top. Where you was at?
A day of darkness.
Start from the top. The top.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh.
Right. So we talking about this time again. Like I said, we talking about a time frame, but it's all called the day of the Lord. Go ahead and read.
For it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess,
Mm-hmm.
a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains.
Wow.
A great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
Because it's a bad time right here. So there's going to be nothing like it. Nothing else like this. Go ahead and read.
A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them.
So now we talking about this army. We know that this army that the Lord has is how many?
200 million. 200 million.
No, you're right. I'm just waiting on that. Mm-hmm. Are you ready? I'm waiting on y'all. I was just waiting. I can wait until y'all finish. Okay, go ahead, bro.
A fire devoureth before them.
Start that off. Bring it back up to what it told you when it first started.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure what that was. I thought. Should I just read right there, verse 3?
When it first started talking about the armies.
Okay. I got you. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness.
Verse 2. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was telling them.
Okay. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
Okay, so we talking about these. We talking about this military, right? This 200 million man army. There's a lot of people.
It is.
There's a whole lot of people. This is almost all of America. We got 300 million and some change over here. So this 200 million here is a whole army. But this is the Lord's army. All right, but if we notice, this is also talking about a day of darkness. In verse 1, it says, what? For the day of the Lord cometh nigh, for it is nigh at hand. So now, proving that it's a time period, let's go over to Isaiah chapter 13. Isaiah 13? 772.
Go verse.
This is really scary here, boy. Good Lord of mercy. Man, start at verse 1. Golly.
The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
The burden of Babylon. The things that's getting ready to happen to Babylon.
Exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude is the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together.
Go ahead.
The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle.
Right, so the Lord is the one that's going to call these nations up to come fight. All right, we're going to pick this up at verse 6.
How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Okay, so we're still looking at this same army. Skip to verse 17.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
These Medes are the Russians.
Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellently shall be as when.
Slow down, brother.
Excellency.
Start that back over in verse 19.
And Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay, bring it back up to verse 16. What are they going to do when they come over?
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
Right, so this is all going to happen in the time it's going to take us until when the Lord get ready to start fight. So he got them over there to the war of Armageddon, and then at this point, right after this, the Lord coming himself. But he called this all the day of the Lord, because he describing to you what's going to happen during this time. No. Just those two. The third one was after Israel's back up in Jerusalem. Yeah, when they back up in Jerusalem. That's Zechariah 14. In Ezekiel chapter 33. Yes, 5 o'clock. Yeah, so Yeah, that wouldn't be the day of the Lord, though. That would be some time after this other battle. Because look at Zechariah 14 right quick. Let me just show you something. And after this, we're going to close out. What did you say? Did you say something? All right, so look at Zechariah chapter 14. All right. Pick this up at verse. Let's start at. All right, pick this up at verse 5, and then we're just gonna read down.
And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azalea. Ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee.
That's right. So this when the Lord return, right? So it said, Lord my God shall come, and all the saints gonna come with him. These are the saints that was caught up in there with the Lord. Okay, change in the moment, the twinkling of an eye. These are the ones that's gonna come back with the Lord. All right, go ahead and read.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Jeba to Ramon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place.
Right, so Lord gonna flatten all this stuff when he get here, right? Then we know it's gonna be rebuilt, and then at this point now it says, well, it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place, from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananel unto the king's wine presses, right? And what's gonna happen?
And men shall dwell in it. And there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited.
That's right. Go ahead.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord shall smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Right, so this is how the Lord gonna kill them. He just let you know, as we top it off, this is how he gonna kill when he get back, okay? You see that? This is disintegrating, right? Right? You see that, right? All right, so now let's go a little bit further. Go ahead and read.
And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them. And they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together.
Okay, so it says Judah gonna fight where?
Shall fight at Jerusalem.
At Jerusalem. So we know Judah ain't fighting at Jerusalem when he get back, right? Right. Who's fighting in Jerusalem when the Lord get back? Before Jesus even get back, who fighting in Jerusalem?
The heathen.
Right. Who gonna be fighting? These are certain people.
200
million, right?
Yeah,
Judah ain't got nothing to do with this. We got a 200 million that's gonna be up fighting against, the Gentiles.
So they're gonna be fighting those people claiming to be Jews over here. That's what they fight?
Not really. They're gonna be fighting Europe.
Oh.
The Pope and his army.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Pope got the 10. Remember, they're gonna go take Jerusalem. They're gonna set up shop over there. And they're gonna start pissing off the whole world, and eventually they're gonna piss off Russia, and Russia gonna come over there and they gonna fight. Judah ain't got nothing to do with this. Judah scared. It's all get out, still running. You know what I'm saying? Judah ain't got nothing to do with this. I'll show you in Isaiah, Joel chapter 2, that Judah at this point praying and asking the Lord to help them. So this right here, this is something else. This is after the Lord then got things kind of settled. But It looked like the Lord is getting ready to bring these riches up in Israel, and this is how it's going to go down. So it says, Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of what? Middle of 14.
And the wealth of the heathen round about shall be gathered together.
What? And the wealth of all the
And
heathen.
the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together.
Uh-huh.
Gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass.
Okay, so now this is what I wanted you to see right here, right? This is talking about, this is a totally different battle. All right. And the reason why we call it the last three battles is because we got this one that's coming back when the Lord get back, right? Then we got this one right here. This is another one once the Lord set up in Jerusalem. He gonna, have them do this for this particular reason, which we just read. He gonna bring the wealth up and all that, right? And then the last one is when? When is the last battle? Which really ain't no battle. That should be enough to help you right there. When I said which really ain't no battle.
When the Lord is fighting with his servants.
When is the last battle? What'd you say, Cam?
I said when the Lord is fighting with all his saints.
Nope, the last battle. I'm not. The last battle. All right, so what we can do is while we're waiting on that, we can look at this other battle, though. We can look at the second battle. In Ezekiel, it's going to tell you, though. Ezekiel. No, I said the last one. The last battle. When is the last battle? The last of all battles. When is it? It ain't really gonna be a war. It's notice I'm saying it really ain't no battle. I'm saying that for a reason. Because who they fighting? Right. So when is this last one gonna take place? If I tell you, you're gonna be mad at yourself.
Oh, when they try to attack Israel while we're in pretty much the safe.
What are you talking about? Say it.
I said when the armies of this world try to attack Israel while we're in it's on the tip of my tongue.
While we're in what?
I said while we're in the safe.
Talking about the wilderness?
Yeah, the wilderness.
Oh, you talking about when we go over there to hide and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Nah.
That's right.
No. No.
Well, I'm about to find out.
Oh my God, my back. When will the last battle take place? The first battle we have that's getting ready to go down is the one where the Lord is getting ready to return and fight, right? Right? That's the one we just read. That's the second one. There's one more battle that's going to take place. That's it. That's the last one. You understand, Brother Cam?
Yeah.
When Satan is loose from his prison, he gonna go out and deceive the nations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna come up against Jerusalem to fight, and the Lord gonna send fire down from heaven and destroy. That's in Revelation chapter 20. It lets you know that. But I'm trying to find one more spot, but I can't find it. So, but yeah, so that's the three right there. The first one is the one with Lord getting ready to come back to fight. The second one is
Armageddon. So it's okay.
No, the second one is what we just read. When they go back, Lord, go back into the land, it's gonna be another battle.
Mhm.
We just read it.
Okay.
And then the third one is after the 1,000-year millennium is complete. So any other questions? Sure. You sure? If you have a question, I don't mind. Go ahead. I just like to eat something. You're not hungry?
I mean, no,
I'm hungry.
but I could rest my eyes.
Yeah. I think that's what we'll do. We'll just take a break and we'll just come back if need be, and if not, we'll just close out. But we just go ahead and take a break right quick since we don't have anybody to fill in for us right now.
Cool beans.